Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Asian report for the 6th of December. Starting with the ASX, we'll just start with the hourly chart here. We'd been looking for a rally to wave 4 here, and we were looking for that from top of wave 2 here to the low of wave 3 here. We're looking for a 38.2% retracement level, which came in at 6,700. So we have a turn here on this. So if that's the case, we should see 5 waves to the downside from here. So in that case, let me just remove that. So technically that means we should be able to short under here. Okay. And should start working lower from this particular point. But we need to be mindful that this count we've got here is an A wave, a B wave, and there is 5 waves in this move here, so it makes it a nice C wave at the target, and it has reacted. But we'd need to be mindful of the other side of the picture as well. So it's possible that this here could also be wave 1 here, and I'm saying this because then we would need a strategy for this to play out here as well. So wave 3 and wave 4. So when we look at this scenario here and then going up for wave 5, so if we look at the low of wave 2 here and the top of wave 3 here, we can see that the 38% retracement level comes right in on this low here. So it's possible at this stage for this market to move up higher here and give us 5 waves up here. So we need to be mindful of it, because if that's the case, that changes the whole game. That changes this move down through here as a possible A, B, and C here, and going further up, because let's remove this again here. So if this is going to move up here in 5 waves here, then we're going to get an A and a B and a C wave coming back to demand area through here, 50-60% retracement level, and then we're going to get another 5 waves up here. So then we would need to be looking at, from, let's just take the top here to the low here, we'd be looking up at this space here at that particular point, still as a possible correction up in this space, but so we could end up with an A and a B and a C wave to this particular point, or it could be a whole 3rd wave going up and continue to going up. So we just need to go step by step, and we need to trade what we understand. So in that case, what we understand is that the move back here is 38.2%. So if that's breached at this point, this could just be an A and a B and a C wave up here, and then come down through here. It would come down in a deeper way here, so it would come down as a little AB, we'll have a look at this on the tick chart, but an A and a B and a C up to here, and then down for, that would be wave 1 and wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5 coming down into this space here. Technically taking out the low here, but I'll just leave it there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and that would give us this, copy this, would give us wave 5 here. So that's a pretty nice clean pathway for that, and a very clear entry on that side here. Okay, so that's the way we can handle the short trade thing. But what makes me also bring in the 5th wave up here is that well, Friday is normally bullish, and we've got this market here pulled way back, so we'll just see how quickly this moves up. If this moves up slowly up through here, then we're going to be moving up higher here. If this moves faster than the market moves up here, then it's a different story. At that point, we'll see it roll. We'll see this market roll over, but it would have to move up fast. It'll have to move up a lot, you know, twice as fast as this is currently moving. Let's have a look on the tick chart for this. Go over this pattern a little bit while we're here. So this is 1 degree smaller because in the other picture we had this as a green wave 3 and a green wave 4 here. So it's the same count, just got 1 degree smaller, not a big deal. So it counts up here quite nicely as well, an A and a B and a C wave up here with 5 waves of 1 and 2 here, and 3 here and 4 here, and 5 here, and 5 waves in the third wave here. So it's also quite, I mean, when we normally have a correction, there's normally an equality between wave A and wave C. But this is acting more like wave 1 and wave 2 here and wave 3 up here, the same as we've just drawn out in the other chart here, leaving this here, copy this as wave 4 here, because that's also, as we just mentioned, and we can look at this in a bit more detail now, that's from this low here roughly to this one here, right on the 38.2% retracement levels. So it can push up from there. So one of the things that we need to look at here, if this is wave 4 here, then this move here down here needs to be corrective down through here. Otherwise, if it's not corrective, then it's going to be wave 1 to the downside here, and then it will have a little ABC as wave 2 here. So copying that here for little wave A here, wave B here, and wave C coming into this space. That's the 61.8% mark up here, close to the 67. So it's likely to retest that. This here looks rather impulsive to the upside. We can see, so we could just label that wave A in here. And we've got the stochastics. They're kind of helpful and not, you know, some people like them, some people don't. But we can see that it's certainly at a top here, and yes, it can continue to move straight up, and this will just flatline. See how this continues. When the stochastics takes out a previous high here, it will just, you need to go to the next higher degree to work out where the, you know, how it's moving at that point. They'll just flatline. So this is likely to have an A and a B and a C wave up to this point here, but at the same time, this could be wave 1 up here and wave 2 here and wave 3. So we know that if we get support on 6,700 here, then we can go long from that point. You could get in a little bit early if you thought that was the case going up. So with wave A here, the pullback for wave B, you could get in at wave B here and then follow it up through that way. So that would be okay to do that as well. You may not get very far, but we may just get the A, the B, and the C here, and then come down, you know, come down here for wave 1 here, wave 2 here. So we just got to be a little bit mindful. So we could say that if we get support on 67, we're going to be going higher for the day. So the question is this one here: do we count this as 5 waves or 3 waves? That's the thing. I mean, it certainly looks like 5 waves, doesn't it? So in terms of 1 and 2 here, and 3 here, and 4 here, and 5 here. But I've seen this pattern before, and we just got to be a little bit careful, because when you take a closer look, wave 1 is cool, wave 2 is cool. Then we could have this here as wave 1 here. So an A wave, a B wave here, then 1 and 2 in here, and 3 here, and 4 here, and 5 here. A little bit hard to see on this, but if we bring it over to, that's 100 ticks, this is 20 ticks here. So the first structure here is wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here is not a problem, and the A and the B and the C is not a problem. In fact, this little move down through here is in 5 waves in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's not a problem here. This would be wave 1 here. And this is just in here where it sort of makes the difference here. So it's all got to do with this. If this is wave 1 here, and that's wave 2 here, that's one way of looking at it, and the other way is having wave 1 here, an A wave here, a B wave here, and a C wave here, because that makes the difference. If that's the case, then we'd have wave 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5 here. So this can be 1 and 2 and 3 here, and then this is wave 4 here with an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here, and then down for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here. So my problem is in this little area here. That's the thing that decides if it's going to be 3 waves or 5 waves. So I can't just figure it out. I don't know. It gets into the guessing game at that point. That's why I've gone to the explaining both sides of the count. So just coming back to the hourly chart here where we keep trades, what we can do is that we know to short it here, but we also know that if we get a support on this level here, that we can go long from here. Now, we also need to be a little bit mindful of the bigger picture as well. So let's just say that the market goes higher through here. So it will take us up to the top of group 1 here, may even get us up to the midpoint here. The thing is, though, is that once we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and then 5 here, then we're going to get an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here, and then we're going to be going up higher here. So, yeah, so a little bit tricky. This B wave, if it's bullish over Friday and Monday, then this won't pull back as much here. So might might get quite complicated across this particular level here. And this would be the upside target here, the next one. So group 2 up here would be the 61.8% target up that side. Alrighty, bit to take on, but let's move on to Hong Kong and India. So with Hong Kong here, as you know, this is a 4-hour chart. We traded down through here and captured a fair whack of that, which is nice. And then we knew we got out here at the 26,000 for a couple of reasons. The trend line coming through here, 61.8% in this box here, the structure here as well. So it's possible now that because we've got 5 waves down here, we get an A and a B and a C wave up here, and it can come into this box here. So we could be looking around this level, these prices here. So I was assuming that, or take a look at today, that looking at 5 waves to be produced here in this first structure. So 5, 3, and 5 here. On the hourly chart here, I was just looking at it. We'll have a closer look on the tick chart in a moment, but possible to view it as 1 and 2 in here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here for third wave, fourth wave back here, and then the fifth wave moving up here with wave 1 here and wave 2 here. And if that's the case, as a short-term trade, that taking that high out here makes it a long trade there with a stop. Just stop under there, and we should be moving higher from here. But just remember as well is that once this move up here is completed, be somewhere in this space here, then we're going to get an A and a B and a C wave, and then further up from that point there. So you may want to take profit up here. But let's take a little closer look here on the tick chart for this. So wave 1, ABC for wave 2, then 1, ABC for 2, 3, 4, and 5 for the third wave, ABC for the fourth wave here. And then we've got 5 waves in here, not a problem, that looks good. And then an ABC back for wave 2. So we're going into wave 3 here, wave 4 here, and wave 5 moving up here a little bit further. So look, it may extend up to the 26,500. So, you know, maybe work it up into that space. There's also the levels here as well. So 100, 200, and 300. If we get a tested support on 300, the top of group 1, well, then you know that we've got a really good chance to get to the next level at 5 here. So it'll be something like this here. And of course you can put in your channels and so on and so on here, but that's the trigger here for that, and the stop can just go under here. India. So with India here, just on the 4-hour chart here, we've been looking at, let's just go over this, wave 3 here, wave 4 here. There's a couple of ways to count up through here, but we've got a nice wave 3 here, so we can look at this as 5 waves here for the 5th of the 3rd. So we were looking for the 4th wave to pull back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree here, or the 38.2% retracement level. We need to be a little bit mindful because we've got 3 waves here. So the 3 waves here could mean that that I've got this count wrong in here. So that means that we need to look at going long above here, because also that's the 61.8% from that high to here. And the reason for going long here, or support at least on the 12,100 here, is because this move here appears to be in 3 waves here. So this can be up for 1, back for 2, and continue up here for 3, 4, and 5, and move higher here. So we don't want to miss that. So this support on 12,100 in a classic trading levels pattern here would be the trigger to go in there at that stage. The other point here too is because we've got 3 waves here, we could end up in, well, part of the flat family here. So that means that we could also, what could it do? I suppose that's in 5 waves here by the looks of it. So we could have an A and a B and a C wave to here, and then, well, there's a few things that can, wave 4s can get a bit complicated. So we could have it as an A and a B and then 5 waves down here for the C wave here, but making it flat, so flat across here, sort of flat across here like that. It also could be a triangle pattern here as well. So because we've got 3 waves here, it's possible to have this as an A, B, C, D, and E here in a triangle pattern coming through here. So we need to be mindful of that as well. So wave 4s can get rather complicated, so we just need to be, you know, not a place to overtrade. So as I just mentioned before, we'd looked at this here as it's very much like this ABC here, so we just need to be mindful, and if, you know, so that's why we can take the top out here for this. It looks like we've got a strong 3rd wave here, and this is possibly little 5 waves up for 1 and 2 here, and 3 here, ABC for 4 and up for 5 here. It's a bit dodgy, an A and a B and a C wave back here. So it's possible that it can move up through here. We can't short it here unless we've got the 12,000 as the retested resistance here in this case. So it would need to, it's had its arrival down here, it's had its bounce, not as high as that. It would need to move through here, and it would need to retest it here and then short on that side. That would be the way to go lower here, but otherwise you'll get trapped. So yeah, let's just see how this pans out. I mean, this could be corrective up here, but it looks sort of impulsive. Sometimes this market moves nicely like this wave structure here. Other times it moves a bit like this here, where it's kind of, you got to get in the guessing game a little bit, you know. And then at the end of the day, we just need to take logical strategies, and that's what we're doing here for this. So going short here for whatever reasons, if this becomes the retested resistance, that's a trade set up here. And in the bigger picture, maybe I've got this wrong here, but, you know, if the bigger picture is right, then we'll come back to the 11,800 here. So so that's a worthy trade through this area here. Don't need that. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.